What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Today is a big day, a really big day. Jamie's on his way down. He's going to be in about half hour or so, but he's coming in to wire up the mill. We're getting Brian going today. Apart from the linear scales, that's the last thing to do, but we're at least going to be able to have a go and see it working and all that sort of stuff. I've been looking forward to this for ages and ages, and all the work that has gone into it, it all comes down to today really. So that's the biggie for today and what this video is mostly about. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on Asbo. Basically, maintenance Matt, he's coming down because he borrowed this jack ages ago to do something on his Harley, and he never got it done, but I needed the jack back. But now he really needs to get what he needs to get done sorted, so he's coming down with his Harley to get it done, which basically means I just need to hoof everything that I took off back on here so it can sit on its own back wheel. We can have the jacket out of it and he can do what he's doing, and then I'll have it back and we'll get back to this sort of state. So that's what's happening. So today, tomorrow is kind of a bit of this, but that's the big one for today. I'm so looking forward to this. I really am. It's going to be epic. Right, it's a busy day in the shop. This is Matt. Everybody, Matt, everybody. He's brought his Harley in because he's using my jack, which is squirreled away under there. What is it you're doing? Discs or something, isn't it?
Discs, yeah.
So he's got new discs for the back, and then that one's coming off and going on the front or something. But this is his ride. Well, it would be very shiny if he cleaned it.
I've done like 600 miles on it in the last couple of weeks.
To be fair, it has been raining and horrible, so you can kind of forgive him that one. We've also got Jamie in. He's down the end there working on Brian. So hopefully we are going to get this thing going today. There's a few bits and pieces to do, but we will cover it and see what happens. So with these turbos and stuff, realistically, how much does it cost to convert a bike to turbo?
When I did my first one,
Yeah.
Everything I read online about doing it said whatever figure you've got in your mind, double it. And then,
100 quid's not bad.
and add some more. Probably.
So, I mean, the turbo itself is going to cost like a few hundred, isn't it? And then you've got like all pumps and lines and
I got
like
a second-hand Garrett and I got it refurbished, rebalanced, resealed and everything.
Yeah.
Altogether that was about 400 quid. But yeah, it was just, for me it was, I didn't save up all this money. Didn't save up enough to do it all at once, so it was probably like a 12-month process of spending 150 to 200 quid a month on various different bits.
So you're on about 15, 16, 1700 quid.
£2,000 for the main kind of build, and then 500 quid on tuning it.
Right.
There are components there that are just quite expensive, like a lock-up clutch. That was 450 quid. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of money in it. Are you rethinking your idea of going?
No, I want to build rod. I've never built a turbo bar. I just really like the idea of having a go at one. I do love the way you just bash everything with hammer. It's a percussion spammer. He's coming back, isn't he? Yeah. Matt's just left, having fixed all his bike up, and it sounds like he's coming back. I'll bet something's fell off it. What's the bit? Or he's forgotten something, or he hasn't done something up.
Is that him, or is he just pulling out to go up there?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. You're still going to hear him when he gets home.
When he gets to down.
That's noisy as. Right, we've made a load of progress. Everything's basically mounted and stuff. We need, what is it? A gland?
We need 2 cable glands.
2 cable glands.
And a breaker.
And a breaker to wire it in.
Yep.
Right, so we're off to screw fix. We'll be back in a sec. You want your coffee?
Second?
You want your coffee?
Oh, good. I'm going to stop something halfway through the coffee.
There's always time for coffee. Oh, I don't know how noisy it's going to be, because it was, when we first got it, all this lot was packed out with grease, wasn't it? See, and there's 2 schools of thought. One is that it was all packed with grease because it was noisy,
Right.
but it was only the head unit that was packed with grease, not the transmission and all the rest of it is. And then the other school of thought is that it was peeing oil out, because that's part of the oil return path.
Right.
So it could just be that it sprung a leak and they couldn't fix it or whatever, so they've just packed it for so oil might just end up dumping out of this if the oil pump is working, which we still don't know.
Hang on, so this was intended to work with oil, just oil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got
There was grease all over it?
Yeah.
Right.
The head was packed with it, literally, because the cavity comes back to about here, right, where you got the bevel gear, and from there all the way to the front casing. It's like 3 tubs of oil 3 tubs of grease must have gone into it at least.
So,
I reckon it just peed out.
This is if you can't get an M22 cable gland, you get an M20 and you wrap it with insulation tape.
That's what we did. forgot to say that. We went off to go and get, what was it, a breaker?
A breaker, C-type breaker.
C-type breaker and some cable glands and Screwfix all tool station. They've got them on their website, they haven't got them in the shop. And we ended up getting the wrong size cable gland anyway. So it's just wrapped up with insulation tape to make it a 20, what's it, 22? It's not going to fall out. That'd be fine.
Like I said, that's the one that did it anyway.
That is a big bike he's got though, isn't it? It's massive. It's not my cup of tea, but he loves it.
No, I did like when he started out and you could just see his head vibrating with it.
All the car windows are doing this and the shutter doors are doing that.
It looked like a pigeon, didn't it?
Do you need all these nuts and stuff?
No.
We're done over here now, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Just get this switch back in.
I think. See, Doddy's going to be watching this with a bottle of whiskey sat next to him. Because when I went and saw Doddy, I actually picked the mill up. He got like, you know, give him some merch and all that sort of stuff. I asked him what his favourite tipple was, and it was Old Oak Band whiskey or something. So I got him the oldest bottle I could find and got that sent up to him. And I had a message off him a while back saying he's got it, finally, because there was loads of cocking about with that. But he's not drinking it until he sees this thing going. And once he sees it going, then he's opening the bottle and he's probably not going to empty it, but he's certainly having some. So he's probably sat there watching this on his telly with a bottle and a glass, waiting for it to fire up. So you're just delaying it for him. He is funny. He's a nice bloke, though. He is a nice bloke. Where's your Allen keys? I've got another one here. Are yours? Oh, there it is. Oh, is this that V-blend? So that's just going on there?
Yep.
It's not exactly round, is it? And a bit of tube where it's been cut.
Yeah, that was done with a grind hacksaw actually.
That'd be alright.
Well, because it was a elbow, I couldn't get it on a bandsaw, so.
Yeah, it's always the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that just needs welding on like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is it that way or the other way?
Yeah, no, exactly that way.
What, and this is for your Turbo Bandit?
That's for the turbo, yeah. There's the exhaust.
If you didn't know already, Jamie's the fella that turbo stuff. I am going to be picking his brains.
Not everything.
What have you turboed so far?
I've got a car outside, I haven't turboed that yet.
Yeah, but it's only a little car.
Yeah. You're considering the Mrs. Vacuum cleaner.
So with turbos and stuff, is there any point in sticking one on a 600? Or has it got to be a certain size engine to consider doing it?
No, you can run relatively low boost on any engine really, but there are certain engines out there that just lend themselves to modification.
Modification.
There are certain engines like the Bandit where it seems like Suzuki went, here's a load of crap parts on a bike
Right.
that are easy to get to. Have at it.
So how many bikes are you turboed now? 4. And it's not a simple, straightforward start procedure, is it? Because you got, like you were saying, you got a pump for the.
Jigsaw foul, there were quite a few parts on eBay that somebody had already made.
All right.
Go on to eBay, you can actually buy a turbo manifold for about 200 quid. Whereas, yeah, my manifold I had to make.
I'll probably want to make one anyway.
Yeah, and you've got the stuff to do it. There are a couple of people in the UK that do it as a. You know, there are businesses that do that for a living, like drag bikes and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you took all right, say that Bandit Asbo, that mate on the dyno at the rear wheel. Yeah. Do you work off rear wheel or at the crank?
Yeah, rear wheel.
Right, rear wheel. I think it was 65 horsepower. No, sorry, 68 horsepower. And
snatch 150 out of it with the turbo easily.
At the rear wheel?
At the rear wheel. But you don't want to change the pistons and lower the compression and various other bits and bobs, and carburetors, you'll get pretty damn good at ripping those off and putting them back on. Hundreds of times you'll have those on and off, and one of the considerations I didn't make when I built my first turbo bike, I had all my plumbing in stupid places and didn't think about that, because then when you go to get it tuned and the guy that strips it down for you has to figure out how everything comes apart, well, they charge hourly. So that's 120 quid just for them to get the carbs off again. So,
well, if I do one, I'd want to hollow out the tank and shove it all up under there, which would make it interesting, because the exhaust would come out and go straight up for a kick-off.
Right.
And basically hide it all and make the seat unit the fuel tank.
Mm.
But you could get 150 horsepower out of one of them.
Yeah. I'd aim for more, but I think out of the 600 I'd be pretty happy with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, in that frame. Well, it'd be a different frame anyway, but...
You're going to get 100 horsepower out of it easily. Just with tuning, you'd probably get 100 horsepower out of that. Different set of cams and bit of headwork and stuff.
Yeah, but that's all...
Well, this is what I said. This is why I turboed it, because it just ends up with the more work you put in, the less gain you get. And eventually you just look at everyone else and see how they're getting big horsepower.
And they just put a turbo on it.
Put a turbo on it, and you think, what's the point of me doing all this work when I can just put a turbo on in front of it?
It could be cool, couldn't it?
So
how rideable are they? Is it like is it like nothing, and then it hits a certain point and just goes potty?
Depends what turbo, boost control, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
My one is just doesn't feel very sturdy.
No, it's going to get drilled, and I'll put some extra holes in it.
All right. Well, the next bit then is...
It's only held on with two bolts in the opposite corners.
Brake out. I'll have to use that for a minute. I think... that is a C-type, but it's a 16.
That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
It's going to give you short circuit protection. But when this starts...
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, but you want thermal protection on the motor as well.
Okay.
So that ain't going to give you... So, we'll use this. We'll get it running, but we need to
change it.
C is basically, it deals with the inrush current. Motors, to start, their current goes sky high.
Yeah.
And a C-type basically has a higher tripping level, but not maintained.
Right.
A higher tripping current, sorry. We want a 10 amp C-type. That is a 10 amp, sorry, 16
amp C-type.
We want a 10 amp C-type. But
I can get one
still
ordered.
Give you short circuit protection, so if anything fell out or any live to neutral happened or the motor resistance sort of wore down, it would still trip.
Right.
But it's not got thermal overload, which is ideally what you want on a motor. Because when that's working hard and getting hot, you want to stop it.
Yeah.
So we can get it set up and running off that.
And I'll just have to order something, and then
order one, and I'll
okay.
It's
all right.
2 minutes to swap it over. So.
Well, I suppose if it's just a case of swapping the box out, isn't it? Because once it's in, it's in.
Right, I'm gonna have to get some of this stuff out of the way.
Yeah, I could do that.
Get to the panel. We'll have to turn the supply to it off as well.
Yeah.
And then turn it on and see what it does.
That's the bit Doddy's waiting on.
Yeah, if it goes back, we'll delete that part.
I must admit, when you just stood there in your shop, it's just a box hanging on the wall, you think, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not until you pull the covers off it and go, bloody hell, are they done in here then?
We'll make it look a bit
Well, like you say, it's not just you do it, you've got to think of the next fella, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, ready to try it.
Are we?
Yeah.
Let's get some stuff out of the way.
Just gonna double check that motor wiring. just check.
See, this is the bit where the top is off the whiskey bottle now, and the glasses are full, and Doddy's like sat there waiting.
I'm happy with it. So,
You reckon it's a goer?
yeah, but you can press start.
Why don't you wide it in? Nah, come on, you do it. You wide it in. I've got more hair than you.
It's got me rubber trainers on.
God. Yes!
Yeah. Is that the right one?
And the oil's pumping. It is, isn't it?
That's the right way, isn't it?
Yeah. What speed's that on? Make it go faster.
I don't know.
It works! It lives! Ow. That hurt. Spindle speed, that's what we're on, isn't it? So currently, we are on, that was 530 RPM. It's normally the slow stuff that gives you trouble, isn't it? So that should be 235. Black button, yeah?
Yeah. Just watch that rotating.
Hey?
I know it's got kind of a cush drive thing, but that does not look true to me.
Well, that's not engaged much either.
No.
Right, we need to sort that.
But it also doesn't look completely true. That looks like it's going to come off. We need a motor plate for that. I'll get that all put.
Yeah.
Right, I haven't labelled it up because the old label's got sockets on it.
That's alright.
You know it's the last one, the one furthest to the left.
Yeah.
If I put a cross on it, you got a Sharpie or something? Sharpie there, look. If I just write M on it for Mill,
Yeah.
if you want B for Brian.
Actually, put B for Brian on.
B for Brian.
B for Brian. Doddy is the man, Brian is the machine. I wonder if I need to move this plate up a bit then. If that ain't cock on.
Right, B for Brian. But we do really need to replace
It is stepped down just a tiny bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it. Let's cover back on as well.
It's about a mil. Right. It's about a mil.
So it's the sort of thing that if you had a working mill, you could do.
It's funny you should say that, because yes, I could slot the mounting holes for the bracket and just move the whole thing up. It's either that or I'd just take a tiny bit, like a mil, off the feet on the motor.
Right.
What a bugger. It's going. It is going. It is going. It does work. This is not finished. It's not finished. Basically, it's a Sunday today, and we couldn't get the breaker that we really needed. So I need to get a C-type 10 amp breaker to go in the panel down there, because that's what this motor and everything else needs, apparently.
Well, RCBO.
RCBO.
I'll send you the part number for
Just give me the thing, I'll get one ordered and that's all good. This motor isn't lined up absolutely cock on. I thought it was, but it ain't. Essentially, the motor wants to go up a little bit. So I need to monkey about with the mounting holes for the plate, because there is bugger all room here looking at it. So basically, this whole motor plate needs to go up a little bit, which I am annoyed about, because I thought I got it spot on. But I didn't. It's like a couple of mil out. And the trouble is that where we're running it, because the motor's lower, that cush drive thing is just sort of working its way back. So that needs to get sorted, because I don't want that disengaging. But everything works. Everything works. Come on, look happy about it. Everything works. Everything works. Just, okay, maybe not as it should do. Oil is getting pumped as well out of here because you can see it blurping up through the sight glass. We've only run it briefly. It's not had a good long stint, which it does need because we want to circulate all the oil everywhere and check it and make sure it's not peeing out and all that sort of stuff. Gearbox certainly seems to work because we can change speeds on it as well. We haven't run at the high speeds yet, but I don't really want to do that until the motor's sorted. But it works. So, Mr. Man in a car, not a van that time.
Waved as well.
They always do when they come past here. So yeah, big day. Doddy's necking him now. He's probably on his second one almost. So I've got those few bits and pieces to check out. I'm still waiting on 2 of the DRO linear scales. That still needs to be put in. Well, I ain't going to run it anymore until I've sorted this motor out because it's got to be true, isn't it? It's got to be right. But that should just be a case of slotting these holes here, moving it up, shoving it in, and jobs are good. And I've got clearance across the top and everything else to do it, so we should be fine. It's not much. That's the really annoying bit.
No.
It really isn't much, but it's enough to make you go, yeah, I'm not doing that. Anyway, thank you ever so much for all your help, matey. You said it was going to be 2 hours. What time did you get here?
About 2 hours ago.
Oh, about 2 hours ago. Put it this way, I said I'd be home at 4:30 and I'm just going to make it. But I really do. There's no way I could have done all this because I don't understand all this electrics and stuff.
You've got a wiring diagram.
Whereas I've got a wiring diagram too, and I'm taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
I need to make a cover for this because obviously rotational of the tool is that way, which means everything is getting chucked over here, and I don't want anything going in that little box of tricks. It didn't come with a cover, so I need to make one. But that's easy enough. Now I've got a working mill. I can make one. I just need a working mill.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. It's like this. I'm hoping those linear scales are going to be here this week. I'm hoping. Because that's a quick and easy job to fix. And then I can make that cover and all the other bits and pieces, and that's it. We can start making bits for Asbo, which I'm looking forward to. But anyway, that's where I'm leaving it today. Thank you again, mate. Legend. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Laters!
Yeah.
Mate, I've got a mill.